Oh yeah, we gotta sit down and talk, yo. We gotta sit down and talk. All right. I've been gone mostly for the last week. I haven't been making that many videos because I've been on vacation and I took a little bit of a break. I didn't post that much last week, but I just get home and then I'm hearing all this crap about um Tom Holland's Spider-Man out of the MCU. Sony has ended their agreement with Marvel Studios. And I'm thinking, what? Like, what? This is my initial reaction. All right. And I'm pretty angry about it. I'm very angry about it, to be honest, for many, many reasons. All right. Tom Holland, after Spider-Man Far From Home, I was pretty confident in saying Tom Holland probably become my favorite version of Peter Parker out of the three main live action ones we've seen. Tobey Maguire's, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. And I'm so excited for the future of Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home had already marked the fifth product, the fifth Marvel Studios movie that Tom Holland's Spider-Man, you know, um, had been in. From Civil War, Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. And, with the reveal of Phase 4 of Marvel Studios, there was no Spider-Man 3 on it. Everyone thought, all right, they're going to save Spider-Man 3 for Phase 4, or Phase 5. All right, it'll be in there with Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, etc., Captain Marvel 2, etc., etc., etc. But now you look at it, and it's already ruined. It's already ruined. They decide to they decide to part of the deal. And the thing about it is, this is the thing that I hate. It's all money based with these people. It's all money based with these people, man. Spider-Man Far From Home. They just announced that Labor Day weekend, which is 2 weeks away, they're gonna be coming out with like an extended cut of Spider-Man Far From Home with like 5 minutes of new footage that has been seen. New action sequences, etc., etc. They also talked about, Spider-Man Far From Home just crossed over the 1 billion mark, I believe, last week. And, everything was looking great. Spider-Man Far From Home is well on its way to becoming probably the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time for Sony. All these highs and everything that Marvel Studios has done. They had Captain Marvel and then Avengers Endgame, which became the highest grossing movie of all time. And then Spider-Man Far From Home to finish off the year. And now they announced Phase 4 at Comic Con. Marvel Studios are at an all-time high. They're making money. They got so many cool things planned for the future. Everyone's getting ready with their Spider-Man 3 theories. When Spider-Man 3 comes out in about next 2-3 years from now. And now, all of a sudden, it's over. And I'm pissed off about it because it comes down to money. The reason why the Spider-Man agreement between Marvel Studios and Sony is now over is because of money. It's because this is the way it was going, all right? The way it went. Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, they had a role in the production of these movies, but Sony owns the rights to the Spider-Man Peter Parker character. They always have, they probably always will. All right, but Marvel Studios had a role in it, and Sony allowed Marvel Studios to bring Peter Parker, Tom Holland, Spider-Man into their universe, into their movies. All right, but the way it would go is any money that Spider-Man films, Marvel Studios Spider-Man films would make, all the money from the box office. So any money that the movies made at theaters, and probably most likely also for DVDs and Blu-rays and etc. All that money, 100% of that money goes to Sony. Marvel Studios doesn't get an inch of that money. The money that Marvel Studios makes from Tom Holland Spider-Man comes from merchandise, toys, all that other stuff. That's the money that that Marvel Studios get from making the Spider-Man films. All right. And if you look at comparison, it's like 95% Sony and then 5% Marvel Studios. All right. And then when they came to renegotiate a new deal, now Marvel Studios was like, we want 50-50. And Sony was like, So Sony knows how valuable the Spider-Man character is and how much money the Spider-Man franchise make. And they were like, no way. And Marvel Studios was like, all right, and they tried to negotiate, and Sony pulled out the deal. All right, there has been other sources that said that there's a chance that Marvel Studios and Sony can make a new agreement down the line. This couldn't be it. This might not be it, but for right now, at least, it looks like the agreement between Marvel Studios and Sony over the Spider-Man character is over, and this is big. Because now in the future, now Sony will, at least for right now, unless something drastically changes in the next couple of days or weeks or whatever, Sony has full rights to the Spider-Man character, and Marvel Studios will have nothing to do with Tom Holland Spider-Man movies whatsoever. A couple key things to talk about too. Tom Holland's contract is with Sony. It's not with Marvel Studios, all right? So Tom Holland's contract with Sony, all right, ends after the next Spider-Man movie he appears in, which will most likely be Spider-Man 3, all right? And unless something drastically happens, all right, the Spider-Man 3 will have nothing to do with Marvel Studios. It'll be a Sony independent film. All right, so I don't know what that really means for Zendaya, MJ, Ned, some Jonah K. Jameson. I don't know what that means. If those characters will have to be recast or whatever. All right, but whatever, the next Tom Holland film will have nothing to do with Marvel Studios unless something drastically happens in the next couple weeks. All right, because we know when it comes to the superhero movie business, these things got to go quick. Just look at what happens with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, how delayed that movie is. All right, but it's disappointing. It really pisses me off because I love Tom Holland in the MCU, and this messes a lot of things going forward. For example, Avengers 5. We know we're not going to get another Avengers film probably till the end of Phase 5, which probably won't be until, 2023. In my estimate, we're not going to see another, Avengers film for a while. Endgame was supposed to be the end of Avengers film as we know it for right now. We won't see another Avengers film till 2023, 2024. But no matter if it's the new Avengers or, Space Avengers, something different, we don't know. But now, if you look at it, unless Sony and Marvel work out a new deal, Peter Parker can't be mentioned in any Marvel Studios films. Because the likeness, all rights to the character, everything surrounding Tom Holland in the MCU, all those rights belong to Sony. So basically, Kevin Feige, none of the Avengers, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Thor, none of them can even mention Peter Parker, unless Sony gives them permission. Which right now, that's not going to happen. And one of the big things, and I hate because this just comes down to people who want to make money. It has nothing to do with Kevin Feige or Amy Pascal, which is, one of the producers over at Sony. It has nothing to do with those people. This just comes down to people running Sony who want money. They don't really, they don't even really care about the story and, the MCU involved. They're just after money. They just don't want to give Marvel Studios money, which it pisses me off a lot. But hey, this is a business at the end of the day. And another thing, Tony Stark, he died in Endgame, and they've been building up for years now that Spider-Man would be the next Tony Stark or the next Iron Man. They set this up in Spider-Man Far From Home. All right, like Tony died, leaving, the future of the planet to Peter Parker and the rest of the Avengers. Now, if Peter Parker's not even in the MCU, it kind of, does take a little bit away from the sacrifice that Iron Man made. Because one of the things that they touch upon in Spider-Man Far From Home that pisses me off is that Iron Man made the sacrifice knowing that Peter Parker would be alive after the events of Avengers Endgame. So now we go into the future of Marvel Studios, and now if Marvel and Sony don't fix this whole thing up, there'll be absolutely no way the Avengers can't even mention Peter Parker. And I don't even know how you do that. Because Peter Parker is now known as one of the higher ranked Avengers. And now we have no idea. How do you write him out of the story? Alright? How do they not mention Peter Parker? Alright? It's like, was he never there? Was he a different character? I don't know. Alright? Luckily Marvel Studios did not, luckily, they did not announce Spider-Man 3 for Phase 4, because this would cause a lot more trouble. All right? Luckily, Phase 5 for Marvel Studios won't be announced now for at least probably 2 more years. So at least Marvel got themselves out of that situation. But hopefully, let's pray that somehow Marvel Studios and Sony could work this out and Tom Holland could stay, in the MCU. We know down the line they have other stuff planned, like Tom Holland crossover with Venom. All right. We also know they have the Spider-Man Sinister Six movie they want to do. We also know they have the live-action Spider-Verse movie with Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield. That movie they want to do in the future. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, Marvel Studios and Sony, please get your act together. Please, because you had a really great thing going with Tom Holland in the MCU. And now you're going to let it all die, especially with all the greatness that Spider-Man Far From Home has brought. You're going to let that all go to waste just because of money? Really? Come to some sort of agreement, honestly, please. All right, but let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Are you guys happy? Are you sad? For at least for right now, it looks like Tom Holland's Spider-Man is no longer in the MCU. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Now that I'm back from vacation, guys. Well, school does start for me soon, but I should be back on a normal schedule of videos. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.